I'm Tim O'Brien. I work for Walmart, and I'm a Senior Director of Engineering focused on FinOps. It's a huge area, and it spans so many aspects, right? It spans finance, business, engineering. But really, if you want to think about what we do with FinOps, is we try to get engineers and architects to think about the cost of what they're doing, whether it's on public cloud or private cloud. So it's getting easier, but it wasn't always easy to get people to understand SKUs have different prices, regions have different prices, different architectural choices, like are you using a relational database or a NoSQL database? Those are the kinds of things that can make a huge difference. We've been doing this for a number of years, before the word FinOps was being used, and one of the biggest challenges for us when we're starting to introduce FinOps concepts was getting engineers to focus. Trying to get our engineers and our architects to understand that there is a daily rate, there is an hourly rate for different SKUs. Trying to get people to understand that data, we can't just store data in databases, we have to think about how long we're going to retain it, what's the sizing of our clusters, and those clusters cannot be sized for one day in a year, they have to be dynamic. Getting people to really evaluate every day. One of the things, if you're building a FinOps function in any company, one of the most important things for you is to bring all the data together and do some analysis on what your spend would have been. You need to become an expert on hypothetical spend models. What would we spend if we didn't change anything? And then once you start demonstrating what FinOps could do for efficiency, different technology choices, moving from one logging technology to another, or one database to another, or moving between regions. Some regions are cheaper than others in public cloud. If you can start making that case, and you can show senior leadership, we would have spent X number of dollars had we not changed anything, and now we're going to go to Y. That's the biggest thing, because you don't have to make the connection. They'll make the connection for you. They see that difference as opportunity. They can reinvest it in people. They can reinvest it in different priorities. And that really is what FinOps is about. It's not about saving money. It's about being able to have the right strategy to invest money where it'll generate the greatest return. So challenges for integrating lots of different data, and there's so much data to talk about. I could talk about data for several weeks straight. One of the things that we do is we started from the beginning creating a data lake. And what I mean by a data lake is we take the source data, the feeds from our cloud providers, the feeds from OpenStack, the feeds that we use to chart utilization and cost, and we store the raw data in object storage, so that we can go back over 6-7 years and we can re-parse it and put it into new schemas. So we take all the data, we put it into object storage, we have a data lake, and then we ingest it into different schemas so we can join it all together. And I think one of the things about FinOps, really the root of FinOps, those SQL statements, those joins, those very complex combinations of ideas. For us, I love this space because someone comes up with a question to be answered, and if it's a difficult question to answer, you're gonna sit down and work on that SQL statement for a couple of hours or days, and the answer you're gonna come out with is gonna change people's behavior. And taking that data and joining it in creative ways, that is really what FinOps is about for me. How did we convince the business to invest in FinOps, and how did we build upon success? It's been incremental. And just like I get teams to focus on day-to-day progress, for building a FinOps function, we focused on getting wins every month, every week, every quarter. And that's really how we've developed enough momentum to build a FinOps function, is convincing people with results, right? So one year, we might drive X number of dollars of savings. The next year, we're gonna increase that. We're going to get people to really think about cost in a structured way. I have to tell you, at our scale, getting people to think about costs is built into our DNA. And getting it applied to cloud has made a huge difference for how we operate the business. A lot of people come to the FinOps conference because they're excited about it as an opportunity for their career. And what I want to tell everybody is one of the most important things in FinOps is your job is to get everyone else promoted. You really don't want to run FinOps from the perspective of claiming credit for savings. You need to empower your engineers, your architects, your leaders in finance, and your leaders in business to have more communication, to have more cooperation. And you need to really find ways to feature their successes. That is the whole thing that makes FinOps work, is getting people to cooperate. Think of yourself more as a coach than a star player.
Check out more stories from FinOps leaders making a difference in the industry. Thanks for your support.